happened was my 3rd month into the business, I actually got robbed. So this is where probably my biggest lesson came from, where I lost. You can probably say a lot of my profits that I made in literally three months or so. So I lost $50,000, and I lost that by because I got robbed. Someone had robbed me, with literally to a gun to my face,
Oh my God.
and this is money that
Were
I
you
had.
with cash?
Yeah, I was with cash, so I had a lot of it was money, a lot of it was tied into phones, right? So whatever amount of money that I made the last, you say, 4 months into the business, I just lost it all in one transaction.
Wow.
It's really about what you decide to do with what you're dealt with. So we all have different cards that we're dealt with. So for me, like I was telling you, my cards was that I was an immigrant, so I didn't have as much. So now I'm like, okay, so I started doing entrepreneurship at 19 originally, like 6 years ago now, and the reason being is because I felt like, okay, most people are my age, they're going to school, which I did have a scholarship to go to the education route, but I'm like, why not just pick something that I actually want to do and pursue,
Right.
and just focus on that for a long
Fantastic.
period of time.
Yeah.
And so you can find something that you're passionate about, because at the end of the day, to become an expert at anything, I believe you don't start being perfect, right? So you're gonna go through some challenges,
Right.
right? Because me sitting here on a podcast, I didn't just, be just decided I want to do a podcast. There was some challenges, some things that I had to go through, and then I was able to solve that problem, and then I was able to become an expert. When I first started my business, it was just everything was self-funded. So a lot of it was bootstrap, meaning that I just self-funded the business. I didn't really have people that were, hey, I want to give you this money. And I actually started my first business with $365. And it just kind of reminds me that the reason behind it, because let's say if someone gives you $10,000 today, without the knowledge, without the mindset, you can go and blow that $10,000. Well, so what I had was I already had a determination, because years before that, I was listening to a book like Think and Go Rich. Napoleon Hill talks about this idea of having a burning desire. So if you have a burning desire to succeed, it doesn't matter. You can give anybody, like, little money, they can make it turn into gold, because they just have that fuel that, whatever they do with that money, they're gonna do something big with it. So I think it's understanding that people are not really gonna give you anything. You have to go and create something for
Yeah,
yourself,
sure.
and then once you create that value, because whenever you're starting a business where, hey, it's just there's an idea and there's a spark that you see, there's a gap in the market, there's a problem that you're seeing, and if you can fix that problem or solve it, then you can get paid.
Welcome to Money Maker Podcast. I am your host, Shion Ajila, and here we have real business conversations on how we can improve our wealth building and financial growth. Today, I am joined with Hani Mahari, a serial entrepreneur and agency founder. Uh, this man have been doing business right from his teenage age. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Annie, for joining him today. And for the benefit of our viewers, can you please introduce yourself?
yeah. No, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Yeah, like I said, it's like you said, I've been an entrepreneur for quite a while now. But so what I do now is I run a cell phone business called Handy Mobile. We specialize in buying and selling and wholesaling phones.
Right.
So a lot of business to business transactions, wholesaling to businesses in Winnipeg. And ultimately, I'm a lifelong learner. Discovered entrepreneurship 6 years ago when I first read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which kind of gave me the mindset shift and like, okay, I actually want to do this. At the time, I got into trading and investing, and I was doing that for a couple of years. And then 3 years ago, I got into my cell phone business, the Handy Mobile, and I've been doing that. And yeah, just really been helping and serving people. But over the years, I realized once I got some knowledge as well too, how can I pass that knowledge down? So I also do a lot of community events,
Right.
giving back to people in our community, primarily the Black community, because I feel like
Right.
there is a lack of knowledge in that.
Mm.
So we're looking to help people start a business, change their mindsets. So many different ways they can get into it. So that's kind of a little bit about myself, and yeah, just always willing to learn, always willing to, show up, and so it's a pleasure.
Right. Thank you so much, Annie. So I was listening to one of your podcasts and you referenced that you grew up in the north side of Winnipeg. So I was wondering, has it always been Winnipeg or did you immigrate to Canada or probably moved to Winnipeg from other provinces. So we really like to understand what your upbringing
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I came here in 2009, originally as an immigrant with a single parent mom and my sister.
Mm.
So when you come here, you're starting with nothing essentially, right? But I saw that, especially moving here, we didn't have a lot of money, so we
Mm.
were put into government housings, right?
Mm.
So I lived in 95 Ellen Aircom Street, and so
Mm.
I've seen a lot of crazy things growing up, and it's because of, like I said, you don't have as much, so you're put into
Mm.
this environment. So coming here, it was our way to change what we saw back home, because
True.
born in Sudan, you see a lot of war, you see a lot
Yeah.
of things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
So coming here, I saw that when we arrived here, people were doing drugs, they were going
Mm.
into the bad environment, the gangs.
Yeah.
So for me, with a single parent mom, I always looked at, how do I not become that person who's doing that?
Mm.
So I started playing basketball. That was one thing that I really, it helped me escape a lot of the bad things, the bad
Fantastic.
friends, bad drugs. Because I believe if it wasn't for sports and really just community in that environment that I found,
Right.
people playing basketball, just getting into different. That's when I actually got into playing a little bit of University of Manitoba, the clubs and that kind of thing. So that really helped me a lot to navigate Winnipeg, because Winnipeg
Fantastic.
is at that time it was very small,
Mm.
because there was a lot of Africans
What was the
coming in.
average population then?
I don't even know. It
But
was.
it must have been like twice or thrice of what we have there because
Oh
we are close
yes,
to
yes,
one a
yes, yeah,
million
yeah,
now.
yeah. Now I think we're at 1 million now. But
Right.
like, yeah, it's been growing. Like, especially because I'm from Eritrea,
Right.
born background in born in Sudan. The last like couple 5 years, I think there's been a lot of Eritreans coming into Winnipeg now.
Yeah.
But
I
when I was
agree.
first coming, it was like we had so many different people. I think there was a lot of Nigerians, people
Mm.
from Nepal,
Mm.
Filipinos was really coming in a
Yeah.
lot.
True.
But that time it was a lot of Filipinos. Now it's
Mm.
like more
Mm.
Eritreans, more Ethiopians,
Yeah. So a lot
more
of Africans are
a lot
coming
of
here.
Africans are coming in. So,
Great.
and that's the thing about
Yeah.
that, is that when Africans are coming in, how is it that we're coming from parts of the world where we have so much talent, but we come
True.
here, we just get distracted. So
Yeah.
it's finding an environment, finding people that you can really attract.
Yeah.
It's very important. So for me, like, yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's just Winnipeg is a small city, but you can find your tribe of people,
True.
people that you can relate with and
Yeah.
find, and find friendships, find communities. And because like I was telling you, if it wasn't for basketball, uh, I don't think I would have been like where I am today. Because
Mm.
so you have to find something that you like, and
Right.
then focus on that.
Yeah.
Because I think nowadays everybody wants to, depending, you want to start a business, whatever it
Mm.
is, you have to find something that you're that's gonna get you out of those bad environments.
I love that.
Yeah,
And for me, the way you have narrated your story, it seems that basketball is like your point of contact into your financial freedom,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You lived in an environment in which you do not want to identify with that particular community, and you are looking for a way to live a better life. You just don't want to take life by default. You wanted to design your own life, and you saw sports as that avenue in which you can pivot to. And from sports, I know that you have also done several many things.
yeah, yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, you are into mobile flipping business. You have done real estate wholesaling.
yeah.
I know that you host a podcast also,
Yes,
even though
yes, yes,
you are
yes.
like sitting on the head other end today. You're a
Yeah,
guest
yeah,
there, but you
yeah, yeah,
yourself, you're a host of a very amazing and engaging podcast. And again, you are a community builder.
yeah,
So I'm wondering, at your very prime age, because if I'm not mistaken, you are like in your early mid
yeah,
20s.
yeah. Like 26.
26, you see. So
Yeah,
at the age in which a lot of people want to groove, they want to like enjoy life, they want to
yeah, yeah.
enjoy their youth. You have a lot on your hands already. I mean, you are counting a lot of years, if not close to a decade in business. So
Mm,
what is the motivation? What is that drive? What is propelling you?
mm,
What is that very thing that is making you to want to go and dare a lot, even at your very prime age?
yeah. No, that's a great point. I think what I've came to realize, though, I think age doesn't really matter.
Hmm.
You can. That's why you see nowadays, it's really about what you decide to do with what you're dealt with. And so we all have different cards that we're dealt with. So for me, like I was telling you, my cards was that I was an immigrant, so I didn't have as much.
Mm.
So now I'm like, okay, so I started doing entrepreneurship at 19 originally,
Mm.
like 6 years ago now, and the reason being is because I felt like, okay, most people at my age, they're going to school,
Right.
which I did have a scholarship to go the education route, but I'm like, why not just pick something that I actually want to do and pursue
Right.
and just focus on that for a long
Fantastic.
period of time?
Yeah.
And so you can find something that you're passionate about, because at the end of the day, to become an expert at anything, I believe you don't start being perfect,
Mm.
right? So you're gonna go through some challenges,
Right.
right? Because me sitting here on a podcast, I didn't just, be just decided I want to do a podcast. There was some challenges, some things that I had to
Mm.
go through,
True.
and then I was able to solve that problem, and then I was able to become an expert.
Fantastic.
So being young, I realized I had so many things that I wasn't believing in myself to be,
Mm.
like starting a business, like getting into reading books,
Yeah.
so many beliefs, right? But once you break those belief systems, and then you work on yourself,
Right.
and then once you work on yourself, now you can start helping people with that problem that you're solving for yourself. So we can do that with finance. We could do that with phones. So I think it's that age is just a gap. It's just a number in between, and people will just treat you based on your character, based on the
Mm.
value that you bring. Because if you have value and people, they feel like, oh, this guy has value. It doesn't matter. You could be 15, 20 years old.
Yeah.
You can help someone in their 30s. And that's what we're seeing nowadays a lot, right? Where companies are looking at the younger generation, whether it's through social media, whether
Mm.
it's through copyright, whatever it is that you bring, they're looking at talent. So what is that talent that you bring to the table? And if you can help them solve their problems, you can get paid. Where if you're
Fantastic.
much older, you can have if you don't work on the skills that are required, someone that has the skills will take your place.
Right.
And we're
True.
seeing it nowadays with AI, right? So
Yeah.
AI is coming in.
Yeah.
People who are adapting to AI, like that were, because AI has been 4 years now.
Mm.
People who started then are experts now,
Now.
right? So it takes time a little bit. So I think it's,
So I
yeah,
think the earlier
you
one puts the
start
foot at the door, the better.
a hundred
You can
percent.
start from somewhere and now begin to like perfect your begin to gain
Exactly.
mastery with time.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
and I think that's one thing that I realized. Like, yeah, it's just it could be anybody, but are they willing to put in the work and
Yeah.
effort to become that person that
Yeah.
wants to help people and change their lives, essentially?
Mm.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So let me
Yeah.
take you on that a little bit, a bit of storytelling now. Has there been any point in time in which anybody have probably judged you or reacted to you in probably collaborating or partnering in business because of your age, especially when you are much younger,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
at the 18, 19, 20, and they're like quite skeptical.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I think depending on how you look at it, when I first started my business, it
right.
was just everything was self-funded. So a lot of it was bootstrapped, meaning that I just self-funded the business. I didn't really have people that were, hey, I want to give you this money. And I
Mm.
actually started my first business with $365.
Mm.
Um, and it just kind of reminds me that the reason behind it, because let's say if someone gives you $10,000 today, without the knowledge, without the mindset, you can go and blow that $10,000. But so what I had was I already had a determination, because years before that I was listening to a book like Think and Go Rich. Napoleon Hill talks about this idea of having a burning desire. So if you have a burning desire to succeed, it doesn't matter. You can give anybody, like, little money, they can make it turn into gold, because they just have that fuel that, whatever they do with that money, they're gonna do something big with
Mm-hmm.
it. So I think it's understanding that people are not really gonna give you anything. You have to go and create something for
Yeah,
yourself,
sure.
and then once you create that value, because whenever you're starting a business where it's just there's an idea and there's a spark that you see, there's a gap in the market, there's a problem that you're seeing, and if you can fix that problem or solve it, then you can get paid. And
Okay.
so when you're young, people don't really treat you with respect. They don't really see, oh, like, because in the beginning too, a lot of people didn't want to do business with me because they're like, oh, like, who is this guy? I'm
Mm.
already been doing this business for 10 years.
Right.
But if you can show them that you could just continually
Right.
show up, right? You can continually bring value, and you have to be persistent. Like, if
Yeah.
you want something, like, for example, in the beginning, I used to go, I had business cards made and everything. I would go literally to people across Winnipeg saying, "Hey, I run this business. Do you want to
Mm.
do business with me?" And in the beginning, you get so many rejections. Nobody
Right.
wants to do business with you because
Mm.
they're like, "Who the hell is this young guy?" You know,
How many years of experience do you have under his
that's
sleeve?
what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, who are you? Why should I even trust you? But
Right.
then as you start to do it more, you do it more.
Yeah.
People, I remember there's this one guy. He's like, "Man, I like you, man, because
Mm.
you're not afraid to show up."
Yeah.
So when you're young, people see that, they're like, "Oh, they want to give you an opportunity." So
Mm.
it's just getting rejected a bunch of times until you finally get what is it is that you
Yeah,
want.
true.
And I think that's what business truly teaches. It's
Yeah.
that persistence, right? And just
Right.
really going after it. So that's probably what I would say is just like, yeah, not people don't really give me that
Mm.
respect in the beginning, but
Over
as you start
time.
over time, as you
Mm.
start to build a little bit of value, they started seeing what I was doing, and that happens in every field. It's in community, it's in
True.
sports, in whatever industry you're in.
Mm.
They won't see you because at the end of the day, I don't think no one is gonna give you something. You have to
True.
go in
You have
and
to go
create
earn
value.
it.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
go earn it, create value, and
Yeah.
then you're able to get what you're looking for. So
Yeah.
that's
I
kind of how I think of it.
I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah,
And I know that you are involved with flipping at both sides. I mean, two sides of your business. You do phone flipping
yeah.
and also real estate flipping. So I'm curious, how do you determine future pays or forecast what your profitability will look like
Mm,
at the beginning? For example, maybe when you are buying that phone, you're going to take it through some form of maintenance and repairs and determining what value you put it to the market. How do you really forecast? Has there been instances in which your forecast went wrong? Maybe you
mm,
are taught that if I buy this phone at $200, I'm going to repair it for another $200, and I should be able to put it to the market at
mm.
$650.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah,
Has
yeah.
there been instances in which the forecast actually went wrong? Maybe you had assumed that with 200 you'll be able to repair, and repair is tending towards twice the price, and because of that your profit margin was affected.
Mm.
So you can use any of the examples, maybe from the phone side of the business or from the real estate flipping side.
Yeah, and I think there is terminologies. Like if I was when I first got started, all I did was I was just focusing on hustling. I would buy a product, I would sell it. I'll buy it for 500, and I'll sell it for 600.
Mm.
So I thought I was making profit. But
Mm.
as you start to evolve, as you start to go into the business, there is certain terminologies that you have to learn. So I didn't know what COGS were, right? Cost of goods sold.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what cash flow was,
Mm-hmm.
EBITDA, right? So these are things that I had to learn by doing the business, but also too
Right.
looking at my numbers, right?
Exactly.
Because if I have $10,000 and this is my cash flow,
Mm.
and it's not my cost of goods are not being sold,
Yeah.
there's something wrong there. So looking at exactly how many phone, like for example, in the
Right.
phone, how many phones do I have this month, and how much do I have to sell? What is my overhead? So there's so many things you learn while doing business that you can read it on a book, but you have to go and actually do it
Yeah.
for you to understand. So there's so many challenges like that in the beginning when people just getting started. They think that, oh, I'm buying this and I'm selling it for here. But what happens too is as you start to grow your business, right? Now let's say you hire somebody, you get someone on a payroll, right? Now that cost of good, let's say it was let's say you bought something for 100, you sold it
Mm-hmm.
for 200. Now when you start hiring contractors, you start hiring people, the $100 profit does not no longer become 100.
Right.
It becomes 50 or becomes 30. Or
Yeah.
so there's so many things that you where
Yeah.
tracking really comes in
Right.
when it comes to really growing a
True.
business.
I agree with you, and I'm still going to come back to the B part of that question. I usually tell business owner that if you are involved in any way in your business, maybe you are managing the business or even involved in the service part of the business, it is important for you to also cost your manpower. It is part of the cost of the business. If you are not doing that, what it means is that you're undervaluing or under recognizing the cost of the business, and you will just assume that you're profitable, except you aggregate all the entire cost of the business
Yeah.
and you match it to the revenue. That is when you can actually say that this is my profit, right? So going back to that question, I just want to know, do you have any live example of the time in which maybe a particular business deal, especially the flipping one,
Mm.
eventually did not become profitable? Like, how did you, or are all your businesses always profitable? If
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
any example, I would just really like you to share with us.
Yeah, so I think let's say for example when I first started, because everybody is goal is to they want to make enough money to quit their job, or they want to get out
Right.
of their jobs, right? That's
Right.
most people have that dream. So the first, I probably say first month, I didn't make as much. I think I was probably net like 2,000. And then the second month, actually, how this happened, because I was telling you earlier, I had this crazy drive, and I was like, okay, I want to actually do this full time. So what I started to do was I started just contacting 100 people a day. I
Mm.
started just going out there in the market, talking to as many people as possible. And then I found this one guy out of nowhere off just Kijiji. When I was just messaging so many people,
Right.
he's like, "Oh, I have X amount of phones that I want to sell
Right.
you." And then when I went to go meet this guy, he was actually working at Bell originally.
Okay.
So when I connected with him, he gave me so many inventory, so much product.
Yeah.
So that second month alone, I was able to do $15,000 because he gave me so
Fantastic.
many phones. But as I started to go on that journey, that only happens once in a while, because those
Yeah.
deals, they eventually they run out.
Yeah.
Um, the third month, it was another good month as well, because I still had some of those phones. But the biggest challenge that I probably faced was the red flags, the things that we forget in business.
Yeah.
So the business that I'm in, phones, because it's a tangible thing. Everybody,
Mm.
you can turn it into money.
True.
So what happened was, my third month into the business, I actually got robbed. So this is where probably my biggest lesson came from, where I lost. You could probably say a lot of my profits that I made in literally three months or so. So I lost $50,000, and I lost that by because I got robbed. Someone had robbed
Wow.
me, with literally to a gun to my face,
Oh my God.
and this is money that
Were
I
you
had.
with cash?
Yeah, I was with cash, so I had a lot of it was money, a lot of it was tied into phones, right? So whatever amount of money that I made the last, you say, 4 months into the business, I just lost it all in one transaction,
Wow.
right? Because what happens a lot of times is that we're always looking to make profit or make money, but we forget the downsides
Yeah.
of,
Sure.
oh, like, okay, if I go meet this person, because it's the business that I'm in, especially as I started to grow, I started doing a lot of social media marketing. Now I'm putting
Right.
myself out there, right? People know who I am, people in the
Right.
community. So I had this one friend who told me to go meet these two guys, because I trusted the one friend,
Mm-hmm.
and my guard was off, because I felt like, okay, I already know this guy.
Right.
So I went to go meet these two people, and then in that transaction, like I said, two black gentlemen as well too. So I'm
Mm.
thinking, okay, I'm black, they're black.
And you are
What
quite comfortable
That's
with
what I'm
them,
saying. Oh yeah,
right? My
yeah.
tribe.
So what can happen there? And literally in that transaction, we were talking for a little bit. Next thing you know, boom, they
Wow.
just flipped the switch. They're like, "Give me everything you have.
Wow.
If you don't give me these phones, I'm gonna literally
Wow.
shoot you." So he
Wow.
had the gun to my face. So
Wow.
in that lesson there was that you can be Superman, you can be whatever
Mm.
you think you are, to be the toughest guy on the planet.
Mm.
You can try to react in that
Mm.
scenario, but if you make one wrong decision, you could lose your life potentially over
True.
phones.
And when you live, it's
Um,
life.
that's what
Everything
I'm
is
saying.
lost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in that scenario, that's where I probably say the biggest lesson has came, and that taught me a lot about trusting people.
Right.
Is because you can think someone is good. They could, oh,
Yeah.
this guy will never. I know this guy since I was a kid, but at the end of the day, things happen. Human
Yeah.
beings change, right?
Mm.
So sometimes you can try to trust people, but it's like they go through so much things as well too. You're also going through so many
Yeah.
things.
True.
Uh, but yeah, that's probably say my biggest loss
Mm.
in that transaction, because that
Right.
blew almost 3-4 months of
Mm.
because that's money I was gonna reinvest back into the business. As you know, as a business, you make
Mm.
money, you want to invest back into it to make more
Yeah.
money, right?
Right. True.
so
Ah.
so now you're in the
Wow.
negative. So now you have to restart, right? So
Mm.
and that's how you can essentially, as a business, really think about, okay, maybe I should just go back to working a job, or maybe this
Wow.
is not really for me. But
Mm.
I didn't give up. I actually, what that I decided to do was, I looked at it like a lesson. So I took a little bit of a pause for a couple of days. But then I had this close friend of mine, close mentor. He's like, listen, this happened to you.
Yeah.
Are you going to look at it as a lesson? Or are you going to think about, this happened to me? Are you going to
Mm-hmm.
be depressed? And nothing wrong with that. Most people probably look at it and be like, oh, I want to give up now. But it's like, I went back and I said, okay, what am I going to do in the next 90? How am I
Yeah.
going to make this money back? I
Mm.
already had the skills, so they can't take that from me.
Right.
I'm gonna just go back to the market and make that money back. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So that's what I did, and luckily, you can't take away the skills and the hunger,
Right.
right? You can take the money, but as long as you have yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you can always make that money
Wow.
back,
Wow.
right? Right?
Amazing.
So that's probably my biggest lesson. I probably say
Wow.
in that transaction, and
Wow.
most people don't really go through that. Like depending on what service if you're in social media, you're in, depending on what you're not getting robbed over phones. It's
Yeah.
like at that point it makes you question people when they tell you to start a business or
Right.
you can make X amount, but they just forget the downsides.
Right.
And it's one of those incidents where
Right.
that you can't really teach in a
Mm,
book. You have to go through it to
I
truly
know.
understand it for
True.
yourself,
Yeah.
especially in the heart of Winnipeg, where it's like people tell you all to be careful,
I
right?
know.
So when people hear that, it's like, oh man, that's crazy, but it's a true story. Like I'm not even uh,
Yeah.
um making because that's when I realized, okay, like business is real. Like,
Wow.
yeah,
How old were you in business when that happened?
how old was I?
In business, like was it like your
That
first
was
year
my
of
first year.
business?
Yeah, my
The
first
first
year. Yeah,
year.
yeah. So about
Poor,
my
poor.
like yeah. So about my
Poor for
fourth
you.
month. Yeah, my fourth month. This was in the
Yeah.
summer of 2023. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
I can imagine.
it was interesting times for sure because you're very excited. Everybody,
Right.
especially when you start doing marketing, you start doing social media.
Right.
That's when I realized like you have to, you most people what I've came to realize they treat business as a side hustle. They don't treat it
Mm-hmm.
like an actual business,
Yeah.
right? And that's how I was doing a lot in the beginning. I was just making money. I was on the road. I thought I had so much cash, but I wasn't really running an actual business. Like
Mm.
I wasn't tracking. I wasn't looking at how much money was coming in.
Right.
I wasn't using any software. But once I started learning about business terminologies and just understanding the
Yeah.
concepts, it changed the game for me. So I think it's for anybody who wants to start a business. It's like
Right.
number one, really look at your expenses. Look at your 3 to 6
Mm-hmm.
month of expenses and see how much money you have because if anything does go down, what is your collateral? What is something you can pick back on,
Yeah.
right?
True.
And then also too, you can't do everything manual. Like nowadays, everybody wants to just, oh, I'm gonna work X amount of days and I'm gonna make like it's like you have to adapt, especially with
Yeah.
AI, with technologies coming in. So software like a CRM system, things like customer relationship management. So how
Yeah.
can we funnel all our customers into one database
All right.
where every time someone comes to us for a phone, how can we systemize the
Yeah.
business? So that's
Okay.
that's what I've been able to kind
Yeah.
of do now
Interesting.
over the years. But yeah, so that's kind of a
Okay.
little bit, and then the real estate question you can
Yeah.
ask me as well too. That's
Okay.
something.
So let me before we go to the other part of the podcast, and some other questions I'm sure that the viewers can be interested in. How do you actually handle the issue of trust in business, considering how much you had suffered in time past
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
relying on someone like a friend, like you, triber, somebody from the community that you actually told that, oh, hey, this is my bro. I can go do business with him without even watching my back. What
Hmm.
has that done for you? Are you able to still put trust on the table
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with people going forward? Or what have you done to be able to protect yourself against some other vulnerability of
Yeah,
sorts?
I think if you're gonna get into a business or whatever to trust someone, I think you have to know that you're running a business and um, let's say for example you're hiring people. I think you have to put contracts in place,
Mm,
and they have to know what is their task in the business, what are they here to do,
mm,
and just set that standard right away because oftentimes, especially me, I used to think that, oh, now me and this person were friends, like he won't screw me, whatever. But
mm.
at the end of the day, you know when you study human nature, people are people, right? and
Right.
they and they do things because of not the way they're designed, because the way they've been programmed. So something
Yeah.
you could be good with someone for, let's
Mm-hmm.
say, like 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and then all of a sudden it can change, right?
Yeah,
Because you
true.
felt like you built a relationship with them or whatever. So really finding out people's deeper desires and really understanding who they are as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and looking back at their
Yeah.
past.
And I
And that
think
takes time as well too to
true,
understand them.
it does
Yeah,
really
yeah,
take time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think another thing is also trying to like even if the business is not at the level of having like a structured business office, maybe it's also good to meet up in a neutral
Yeah,
location
yeah, 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 yeah,
such
yeah.
that one is not, I didn't actually know what environment that
100%.
particular story you shared with us happened, but I'm suspecting that it might be in
It's an
some look.
outdoor. It was an outdoor environment. Like I said,
Right,
safe way. So actually open concept place
right,
where people were actually. That day
right.
was just. I guess nobody was watching us, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So what I decided to do after that happened, I just decided, okay, I can no longer do this from my home. I can no
Yeah,
longer do this just
true.
outside of my meet people at random locations. I
Hmm.
have to have an office. I have to have
True.
somewhere where I can. So that's when I decided
Or
to
at
move a
least
bit
like a
more
meetup
careful.
place, maybe you meet up over a lunch, over a coffee, in
Yes,
like a
yes,
semi-business environment, in restaurant. At least
exactly.
to a large extent,
Yeah,
one can still be able to
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
manage situation better than,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
I
And
understand.
that's actually what I do because as I started to go through those losses and lessons I told you,
Mm,
I started actually teaching a lot of the stuff that I was doing in the business to people. So that's one of the things that I tell them, like, if you're just gonna get started in this business, understand that you can't meet anybody random. You
right.
gotta maybe have to meet them at a police station because there's more
Mm-hmm.
safety there. Maybe it's McDonald's, right?
Yeah. Right.
Because people are
True.
just like they're looking to make profit, but it's like you never know. Someone might flip on you because they
I
they
know.
also want to make profit too.
True. And some people don't even have that patience for
Yeah, yeah.
going on their wealth journey
Oh
in a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
systemic way and clean way that some of us are toying. Some people just want to do it by crook or by fair means, so they don't care. Whatever means the word comes, they can justify the means. So it's our responsibility to now know how we protect ourselves from
Exactly.
some of those people. And they're
Yeah,
everywhere. They're
yeah, yeah,
everywhere. They're
yeah,
just
yeah.
not
You just never know. It
in
can
our
happen to
province. They're
anyone.
just
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere. Interesting. Thank you for
No,
sharing.
it's crazy. Yeah, yeah.
Um, I also want to know, how do you actually pay yourself from your business? And there are a lot of dynamics. Some business owners decide to like put themselves on a steady salary. Let's say that in January you make a big profit of like $50,000, for example. Do you go take the entire $50,000 and say, okay, this is my sweats from the business? I mean, this is my reward. Or do you put yourself on like a steady salary, saying that, okay, $10,000 so that you can aggregate whatever amount from it. So, do you subscribe to the act of drawing? Drawing is when a business owner just spend money from his business, taking care of himself without any structured
Hmm.
amount that is taken out. But salary can be a way in which you have determined that, okay, for my reward of running this business, I will be taking a particular amount out every month. So, how do you actually pay yourself from
Yeah, yeah. So
business?
I recently I actually got a corporate account. For the longest time I had a sole proprietorship. And that's the thing about I didn't know I didn't know the game
Right.
that well.
Right.
But as you start to learn, you start to
Yeah.
look at your structure and how you can structure your business.
Right.
So with a corp, you just have so much things that you could do, so many things you can write
Yeah,
off.
true.
Banks also want to give you more money. But for
Right.
me, it's really just structuring more of looking at my checking account, looking at my business account to not be correlating with the two, right?
Mhm.
So if I make, let's say, $50,000, let's say in a month, whatever it is, how much of that is going to people I'm paying, and how much is that is going to myself, right? So
Right.
I think you have to have a certain budget
Yeah.
that
So,
you're
do
putting
you
every month.
have a certain budget of
I-
what
I-
comes to you?
yeah, yeah, yeah. To be honest, a lot of what I make because I'm also
Yeah.
investing into the market as well too.
Right.
So whatever dollars that I make typically goes back into making like more money with the
Okay.
business,
Okay.
right?
So basically, let's say that this kind of arrangement that the business just take care of your basic living expenses, and the balance on your profit is plowed back into your business activity.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. Because
Okay, sounds good.
I look at life like the way I live is very simple. As you see, I am a single man, but so
Hopefully, very soon.
yeah, yeah. But still, though, I think the idea of what people do is because they start making more money now, they start spending more
Hmm.
money, right? And you realize this faster or later that this is how you actually will burn a lot of your cash,
Yeah.
right? So, and that's one of the dangerous things about a business like this is because you can spend so much money, but if you're not tracking, if you're not looking at your expenses, then it's easy for everything
Right.
to kind of
Right.
go. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So, what message do you have for young ones that are prospecting going into business? I know some people will feel that, okay, let me just try corporate for a while, gain some experience, and probably pivot into business. And there are some people that have been side hustling for quite some time and they are building momentum to also be able to go into business full time. What would be your advice to them?
Mm. I think it's you have to find the courage to want to start a business, like the courage to this is what I actually want to do. Because at the
Sure.
end of the day, um, like it doesn't just come from reading thousands of books,
Hmm.
going to a bunch of seminars. I think you have to
Hmm.
be an action taker,
Action taker. I
because
love that.
business is not just you can say you started a business today, but how many people are you actually serving? How many people could say, oh, this is something that's, you know what I mean, you're doing? Because I think that's one thing that I probably say is like start and then figure it out after. Because if you take too long to start, if you go work on the business plan, that doesn't really just, you know, makes you think that you're running a business. So
Because you
I think
can't
it's
perfect a model you haven't
yes,
started. So
yes,
just start somehow.
yeah. Have an idea, sell something to a stranger because I think a
Hmm.
business starts once you sell something to a
To
stranger.
a
You could literally
stranger.
just have this idea, you could solve this problem.
Hmm.
And I think the simplest way is get, let's say, 20 people in one room and do a presentation or something and try to sell one of those people. I think
Let me take you on the.
that's
So
one
for
way you can
people,
sell.
I'm gonna ask a question there
Yeah,
because you are like dropping an inspiration right there. So for
yeah,
people
yeah.
that probably have a business and all the people they sell to is probably their family members and their friends, they
Mm,
don't yet have a business because you
yeah,
told
yeah.
us that until you sell at least to a stranger, that's when you have a business.
100%. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, your friends and family, they know you because here's the thing: people are not gonna support you in the
Mm,
beginning because they have a thing where they just know you for who you were. Let's say
yeah,
5 years ago, 6 years ago when you were a
yeah.
kid. So I realized this too, where especially growing up in the city, people have a reminder of who you were 6 years ago, but they don't know
Mm,
that you actually changed.
yeah,
The reason why the support is not there is because they're looking at your past. But strangers don't care about your past. They care about
mm,
what problems are you solving for them.
yeah,
And that's why they say strangers will support you more than a friend or a family member, which is
mm,
100% true.
right.
And you will see this time and time again. You're like, oh, my friends are not. At the end of the day,
Hmm.
that doesn't really matter because people who truly care about you and love you, they will support you regardless of what it is. But I think that's one thing that I realized. Time it just shows me again and again that uh, the past does not determine the future, right?
True.
And so, as a business owner, you have to consistently be evolving and growing your
Yeah.
business and attracting the right customers who
Right.
want to buy your product or service.
Right.
Because someone saying, let's say you can have 20 people in a room, someone doesn't want to buy, there's going to be more people you can try to sell to.
True.
So it's just expanding who you're selling to, who is your audience, and then structuring your offer to the point where they don't you're not being pressured to sell
Yeah.
anybody something.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of times like your relatives, whatever it is, like they'll come to you for advice, whatever it is, and they just want to haggle you. They want to like
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is you tell them my price is 500. Oh, you're my brother. Oh, you're my family member. You know how
I know.
a lot of Africans do this too, which is
Yeah.
and that's why for me, I look at that as like it's trying to take advantage of a small business, especially when,
Mm.
like for example, I have overhead costs, I have
Yeah.
an office space, I have people that I have to pay. So if I'm your brother, if I'm your sister, you should be supporting me. If that's what you say
Yeah.
it
You
is,
shouldn't be killing my
that's what I'm saying. You
business.
shouldn't be killing my business.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
But
reasonable discounts,
yeah,
you
and
know?
that's why you have to know who your ICP is, your ideal
Right.
client profile, because if your ICP is everybody, then you don't know who
Mm.
and then you're wondering why people are not appreciating your value. So know what your value is, what is
Yeah.
that dollar amount, and attract the right people because people are just I don't know. Oh, that person gave me this deal, so I'm coming to you now for a better one. It's like no, man, I have standards, I have boundaries that I want to set. This is my price. If you
Yeah.
want to pay it, sure. If
You
not,
should. And
don't
to
waste my time.
me,
Yeah.
I think you Gen Zs, you are better off in this than some of us
Yeah,
millennials,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I've done a lot of business with Gen Zs. They're just gonna name their price,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
or they say, "Go, please go check my website. The price point is there. Please check out whatever fits into your budget." And if you're approaching them from the angle, hey, you're my brother, you're my sister, they
Nah.
just cut that conversation from
Yeah,
that end.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which for me, I think your generation, you have much more. I think you will do better and fairer in business
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
some of our own generations because we bring a lot of emotion into this.
Yeah,
Don't you
yeah,
know
yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm your auntie? Don't you know that I'm your uncle?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm an advocate of the fact that you can actually accommodate some level of discount to families and friends. In any of my services, I'll usually have a coupon that I reserve for.
Try to
I
help.
call
Yeah,
it
yeah.
F&F coupon, family and friends
Yeah,
coupon.
yeah, 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 yeah,
If the benchmark is 10% discount or 15% discount, so will you get if you are under that category.
Nice,
But
nice.
you're
Yeah.
not going to come and say that I should slash my price into two because you are my family or because you are my friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And I think another way to go about it is the fact that in the receipt, I'm going to recognize the entire price, then put it there, document it there that it is a discount. So that
Yeah.
next time when you're coming, you understand the fact that we have accommodated you so far to the extent of 10 or 15 or 20%. But again, not to now come and kill the business.
Exactly.
I had
Yeah.
to, it took me a while before I could actually get to that level in business. Because,
Yeah,
like you
yeah, yeah.
said, if we have to do everything on that, we are families, we are friends, it means we don't have a business we are running.
Mm.
We're just going to be running a business in emotion with
Mhm.
emotion. And tomorrow, some of those businesses, they can't stand the test of time. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, Hani, for
No, exactly. And I think,
sharing.
yeah, yeah.
And again, I want to go to the other side of things because I know that you didn't just grow up and become this business savvy. In a way, you must have been consuming some good content, maybe from
Yeah, yeah,
books, maybe from mentors, from
yeah, yeah,
coaches, or even podcasts. So tell us, who are your mentors?
yeah, yeah. No,
Where have you been going through some processing and refining
yeah,
and
yeah.
cooking process? We do really like to
Yeah,
know.
no, I think in the beginning I told you like the book that really just gave me the mindset and the shift was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Great.
I always go back to
Fantastic
that.
book.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's like the Bible of entrepreneurship.
Wow,
Like if you
great.
really want to learn entrepreneurship and it breaks down, the stock market, real estate, financial literacy. There's so many
Yeah.
things that, and then Robert in that book he talks about, the rich don't. The rule one is the rich don't work for money. And now he tells you what rich people do, right? They own assets, right? They don't have liabilities, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many things that we just don't know because we're not reading. They say like if you want to if you want to hire something from a black man, put it in a
Put it in a
book,
book.
right? So you put it
Because
in a
we
book.
don't read.
If you don't read, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. So you
We need to
spent
go break that.
yeah. So you spent so much time in high school and education and college, and
Yeah.
you're reading about science, you're reading about
Right.
this, but you're not reading on something where it can actually generate your money.
True.
So, and it's actually not the school system; it's just the way it's being designed.
Yeah.
Because they gatekeep a lot of this stuff from me because they
Right.
don't. Because if you're let's say you're in school, if you learn about how money works, then why would you want to go to school, right? So the way the system is designed, I mean, unfortunately, it's designed for you to be an employee. They don't want to teach you about mindset, how to get skill sets going. And this is why self knowledge is so important. Like
Yeah.
people will always, I think once you start finding out information, then you can start realizing the world is there's so much opportunities out there.
True.
You can start looking at now for me, like every time I go out there, I look at something. I'm like, that's a business idea. That's it. So there's so many ideas that you see when you become an entrepreneur. Your eyes turns to kind of just like opportunities everywhere, right? You're looking at problems, how you can solve them. So that's kind of how I look at the business landscape and where things are kind of heading.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
So for viewers that kind of want to find you outside of these settings, where exactly are you hanging out?
yeah,
Online, where can they find you? Are you on Twitter? Are you on
yeah,
Instagram? Where exactly can they find Hani?
yeah. So they can find me at Hani Mohari on all social media. It's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So it's HANNYMEHARI. Yeah, like I've been doing content actually the last, I think it's probably going on 2 years now. 2024, I really
Mm,
started, and the idea of creating content and just, I think it's you have to trust the process. My method
yeah,
is like trust the process. So while we're trusting the process, we have to document that process,
sure.
right? What does it look like in business? Is not like earlier. Dubai was doing something in the back, something dropped. There's gonna be things like that that are gonna
Yeah,
happen. It's random things that happen, and
right.
people want to unfilter those things. They want to
Mm-hmm.
make things perfect, but it's like no one is perfect. Like if we were perfect, then we
Yeah,
wouldn't be always wanting to learn, want to
true.
connect with people. But another space that I'm also part of as well too. I have this platform that I call it's called the Handy Lounge, where I bring entrepreneurs and business people together,
Yeah.
where we're educating people about business, giving them access to people.
Mm,
Earlier you talked about it being free. It is a free event, and people
yeah.
always ask me like, why is this event for free? I always go back to if we are individuals, people who have, for example, like my stories, I didn't come with a lot.
Right.
So I always look at the business, someone who just wants to start a business, like a young kid. For me, when I first started, I had no guidance. I had nobody telling me what to do, how to start a business. I didn't have a lot of money, but I knew that I can go buy a book for $20
Right.
and get access to information.
Right.
But I realized, why not just create a space where people, it's like a book.
Yeah.
You go listen to an entrepreneur, that right there alone will give you thousands of value. The way,
Mm.
but if you have to look at value that way,
Yeah.
and that's what I believe this environment we're trying to create with the community is
Fantastic.
that, because at the end of the day, people are always looking to take from you, but they're
Mhm.
not looking to add value. Because someone
Mm.
could tell you, "Oh, this program is good. Come over here," but they're always looking to pitch you their idea,
Right.
or they're trying to sell you something on the back end. But for me, I always look at it like, if we just provide enough value to people,
Mhm.
right? Essentially, on the back end, people will come to buy my products. So it'll be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you're giving me so much value. Like, I actually want to get mentorship from you. I want to get coaching from," and that's what happens a lot on the back end. People be like,
Yeah.
"These events are free. Like, what? Why?" But behind the scene, people are reaching out to me because they want to learn. Maybe they
Great.
think, "Oh, I want to do public speaking. I want to do this. I
Mm.
want to do phones." So it's understanding that if you just bring value and not determine what the price is going to be, and if
Right.
someone finds value in that, they're going to want to buy that
Wow.
service or product. So, and that's what
Amazing.
the community. And if you treat things that way instead of
Yeah.
trying to take and, oh, like, how much money am I making here? Or what am I getting out of this deal? That's that mindset of someone who wants just money, who does
Mhm.
not want to give back. And
Right.
if we study, because I'm big into faith and God and spiritual as well too, where in the Bible it talks a lot about giving, because
Right.
it's a cause and effect. If you
Yeah.
start to give out there in the
It
world,
shall be given
things will
back to
things
you.
will come back to you.
It will
So
resonate your way.
exactly,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's how I operate. I operate from first principle and just with an abundance mindset. And
Right.
these are things when people look at me, be like, "How is this even possible at this age?" It's just because I'm following principles. I'm
Right.
looking at how things
I
have been
love
done
that.
in the past.
I
I'm
love
not
that.
looking at the new way where
Mm.
everybody just wants a dollar, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Oh,
one thing I've realized a
you
lot
know,
about.
most people when they come into relationship, they're already looking and
Yeah,
checking what is in need for me.
yeah,
And I tell
yeah,
people, in if you will really want to build authentic relationship, you don't go with that mindset of what is
yeah,
in need for me. Don't go with a transactional mindset
100%.
because the very sensitive people, they can feel it, they can smell it. And in that way, you can begin to lose quality relationships. Thank you so
Exactly,
much,
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Hani, for joining
100%.
in today.
No,
We
I appreciate
appreciate your time
it.
on the episode. And to you, viewers, we want to say very big thank you. Thank you for joining in, tuning in, and sticking till the very end. If you enjoyed this conversation, please remember to subscribe and also click on the notification button so that anytime we upload new episode, you will be alerted. And until I come your way again, continue those money moves.
Yeah, I appreciate it.